Okay, everybody, I have some good news for you. Blink-182 is back. They have two new songs, actually. One is called One More Time. I forget the name of the other one, but we'll listen to it in a minute. I saw that they posted this sort of like trailer thing the other day that's sort of like talking about sort of the story behind the songs and previewing some of the albums. So I figured let's check this out and then let's check out the two new songs and we can see what we think. So this is the trailer for, I guess, the whole album. Let's check it out.
What you need to understand about Blink-182 is that we didn't come out of like joyous homes. We came from a lot of heartbreak, broken families, fist fights. So Blink was always a way to force the happiness in the room.
I liked the way he put this before. So he's talking here about how like we didn't come from happy homes or whatever. It was some old interview. He said, we didn't come from like bad homes, but we didn't come from great homes either. And I thought that was a really good way to put it. And just sort of like the appeal of this kind of pop punk in general. It's not like, you know, if you're listening to like Hatebreed or Death Threat or Terror or something like that, well, then you probably came from a really, 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 really screwed up home. And that's like, okay, you probably should spend less money on vinyl and more money on therapy if you grew up listening to Hatebreed and Death Threat like I did. I have 2 Hatebreed tattoos and I have a Death Threat tattoo. So that tells you something about how I grew up. I want to know Zane Lowe here, who's the host of like that Apple Music show or whatever. Number one, why does he even have a radio show? I don't know who he is or why they picked him. Number two, why is he dressed like he's in prison? This is like the workout clothes they give you, you know, if you're in state prison. I feel like if he turns around, we'll see that along the leg of his pants, it'll say like California Department of Corrections. I like it. My man, he got out of this fucking slammer and he went straight to interview Blink-182. Respect. Let right out of prison to the interview.
Force the happiness in the room.
There's not only like a competition, but a collaboration. When Travis joined the band, it just blew things sky high.
Yep. I know there's all the hipsters. There's the Scott hipsters that say that era of Blink is better than Travis. Those people, they're just wrong. Like, if you think that Blink was better before Travis, that's just objectively wrong. Okay, so they're previewing some of the new songs here. Anthem Part 3 sounds cool, fast one.
No, there was a lot of bad blood. There's a lot of...
Yeah.
Thomas stopped all recording and work with Blink-182 effective immediately.
Don't look at me with these cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Blink without Tom is not Blink. You know what I mean? It's just not. I think Matt Skiba did the best job that you possibly could of filling in for Tom. Like, Matt is really talented and he sounded good and stuff, but it doesn't sound like Blink. It's just not Blink. You know what I mean? It just isn't. And I think they did the best they could, but Tom is the secret ingredient. Also, you know, from a songwriting perspective too, you listen to Angels and Airwaves and that shit's pretty good. You listen to Blink without Tom and it's like, not so good. I think in hindsight, a lot of people maybe thought Mark was sort of the secret ingredient. And respect to Mark, he seems like an awesome guy and I think he's a really good songwriter too. But Tom is irreplaceable.
A lot of people thought that you left Blink-182 to become professionally crazy.
Found myself in these weird oceans that I didn't know really how to navigate.
Tom's UFO arc.
Blink,
back when everyone's like, oh, when he wrote Aliens Exist, we thought he was joking. He was definitely not joking. And kind of proven right? With all these like government document leaks and stuff. I don't know. Tom was kind of right.
I remember telling my wife now, like, well, I don't think I'm ever gonna play music again. I don't think I'm ever gonna tour again until Mark told me he was sick. And then I was like, that was the only thing I wanted to do.
when I found out that I got sick, like, I was really shitty, weak.
Oh, man. Of all the people in the world to get cancer, like Mark Hoppus, man, that's just feels like you're getting kicked in the balls by God. You know what I mean? Nobody has ever said anything bad about Mark Hoppus. Just seems like the best dude. Even if you hate Blink, you hate his music, he just seems like the best dude. When I heard that he had cancer, I was just like, man, this absolutely sucks. And then I said, wait a minute, actually, this is the best thing ever because now maybe Blink is going to get back together. Yes, God, thank you for giving Mark Hoppus cancer. You answered my prayers, and now the band is back together. That's what I said.
Like eaten with the chemotherapy and pain and everything else, just a hollow shell. I wish they told us.
But all of Mark's suffering was worth it. Okay, here's One More Time, which is the song that came out today.
It shouldn't take a sickness.
When he told me he was sick, that's like the gnarliest. That was like, nothing matters, really. Like,
I mean, what a just like cursed band in a lot of ways. You know, Travis Barker almost dying in this plane crash, Mark getting cancer, and then, you know, both times that's what brought the band back together.
It's kind of written about why does it take these catastrophes, me being in a plane crash or Mark being sick, for our band to get back together.
It's interesting because they seem like such good friends, you know, but there's been these times where they didn't speak for, you know, years, but then when they get back together, it seems like they're super tight. You know, sometimes there's some relationships that are just like that.
I always knew that the brotherhood wouldn't ever deteriorate or wouldn't be there. I really feel like Blink is us three. And as soon as we accept that and we just don't settle for anything less than that.
I wonder how Matt Skiba feels watching this. Just I mean, I'm sure he gets it, but feels kind of crappy if you're Matt Skiba to hear that, I guess. We're not going to settle for anything less. Matt Skiba's just like, oh. Living with the same guys nonstop for over a decade takes a toll on any relationship. That's very true. I mean, you know, my business partners and I yell at each other sometimes, but we don't have to live in a fucking bus with each other. I'm sure if we did, I would want to murder all of them. So that's fair.
you're gonna get through this shit and we're gonna go dominate.
I got so sick of hearing Tom's positive shit. I really did. Like,
I call him up in my head.
Chemotherapy wrecked my vocal cords. I had to go work with a vocal coach to get to the point where we could go and walk on stage at Coachella.
Oh, that's interesting. So he's talking about how chemotherapy was hard on his vocal cords. And I think a lot of people, including me, the reaction to Blink doing Coachella was like, they don't sound that great. And I didn't even think of the chemo angle. And now I feel like a butthole for saying that when, you know, I think that was the first show they had played in a long time since Mark, you know, went through chemo. So that would explain a lot. And, you know, to be honest, Blink never sounded that great live anyway, but they're fun. You know, not the best sounding band, but always fun.
Fuck! Hi, we're BLINK-182.
Okay, this song sounds pretty good. I gotta say, based on what I have heard from the previews in this video, which, you know, we're only hearing a few seconds of a few songs here and there, but so far, I'm like, man, this is the best they have sounded probably since the self-titled album, I think. I didn't think Neighborhoods was great. It was okay. It wasn't great. The Matt Skiba stuff, I think it's not good, or at least not Blink. And for a band that's been around for 30 years, you know, and had all these lineup changes and stuff, so far, I feel like what we've heard in the trailer is better than you would think it would be. Tom seemed like the fun one in the group and brought a lot of positive energy to their songs. I agree with that. You know, like Plus 44, which, you know, didn't have Tom in it, was cool, but it was kind of like, it was kind of down. All the Matt Skiba stuff was very kind of down, in my opinion. You know, Alkaline Trio is a very depressing band, so that makes sense. So I think that's a good point. Tom seems like he does bring the fun. Yeah, that's true. The new Angels and Airwaves record was really solid too. Absolutely. I was the one where they're dancing, I forget the name of the song, but the video where they're dancing in it, and I was like, God damn it, this is actually really, really good. Angels and Airwaves, actually pretty damn good band in hindsight.
Like the best albums we've ever written.
It's the best album you've ever made.
Coming out with these words one more time, it's like, hey, you know, this is the last time we're gonna fuck this up.
Well, once again, just all I have to say is, dear Lord, thank you so much for answering my prayers and giving cancer to Mark Hoppus. We'll check out these two new songs now. Again, I've heard a little bit of them through the trailer here, and I'm optimistic. First one here is One More Time. Let's check this out.
Strangers, from strangers into brothers, from brothers into strangers once again.
Okay, so the line is like, from strangers to brothers, from brothers to strangers once again. So Obviously, like very literally talking about, you know, what happened with the band. Maybe a little bit on the nose, but I mean, I think we can all kind of relate to that in some sense. Like, you know, there's people that I used to be like super close friends with, like people that I lived with and I would talk to like every day. We hung out all the time. And then something happened and like I haven't talked to these people for like 10 years, 15 years. Kind of sucks. Makes me sad when I think about it, but sometimes, you know, it's how it happens.
I couldn't even recognize my friends.
My friends. I couldn't recognize my friends. I like that. My friends. I don't recognize my friends. I like that. Got a little bit of country feel to it. I like how also Travis Barker just like stopped wearing shirts completely. Does the man even own a shirt? I don't know. I mean, he looks great. I probably wouldn't own a shirt either if I looked like him. So I don't blame him. But just, I don't know. I would get cold. Oh, God. His only shirt is the Eating Pussy Build Strong Bones one. That's right. Oh, God. The Eating Pussy shirt from that fucking cringe MGK video. Does Tom have a regional accent or is it just his accent? I think Tom has an extremely strong Southern California accent, but mostly it's just a Tom accent. I think it is a very strong Southern California accent.
Shouldn't take a
I feel like this song needs to pick up a little bit. It sounds good, but okay. Maybe we're getting somewhere now. Okay, so now we're going through all the different sets. They did the Down video set, Warped Tour background. So, you know, this is kind of, again, it's a little bit on the nose of sort of stepping through their history, but I get it. I understand why they wanted to make this video. Might be a little bit on the nose, but I get it.
I don't wanna wait to do this one more time. One more time.
This song never really builds to the crescendo you want. Well, we'll see. To be fair, Blink was never subtle, not even 1%. Wait a minute. You're telling me that the band that wrote a song with the lyrics, I want to fuck a dog in the ass, lacks subtlety? Excuse me, my friend. Excuse me. When he said, I want to fuck your grandpa in the ass, I felt that, and I take offense to your words, okay? How dare you?
One more time.
Sounds like Angels and Airwaves. No, it doesn't sound like Angels and Airwaves because there's no delay pedal. Angels and Airwaves is like, oh, Dad bought his first delay pedal, and now he has to use it on every single part of every single song. But I do like Angels and Airwaves.
One more time. One more time. One more.
Oh, there's Travis singing.
One more time. One more time.
Travis making his vocal debut after being in the band for 25 years. Okay, this feels like fan service to a degree. Their way they're writing the lyrics, the video callbacks, they know what associations they're creating by doing this. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but at the same time, I don't blame them. I mean, you know, one of their best friends almost died. You know, they're probably like very emotional about this moment, and I think that's fair. If it was any other situation, maybe I would roll my eyes, but I mean, that's fair, you know, after going through this. It sounds kind of cliche to say maybe, but I feel like they wrote this song for themselves, which is totally fair. You know what I mean? It feels like this is written as a way for themselves to just sort of like feel better about the fact that, you know, there was all this bad blood between them. Is it a little bit on the nose? Yeah, but, you know, I get it. I think it's totally okay, given the circumstances, for them to write something for themselves. Certainly better than the alternative, which is like the worst thing they could possibly do is one of these awful, you know, songs that a lot of like old guy bands do, you know, about how like times have changed. It's not like the good old days. Those are the ones that really just make me want to be like, dude, you guys need to break up. This is fine. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. Not the song that I would choose to listen to, because I'm not really into these kind of like downer type songs. But I do think it's well done. It's a cool message. Good reminder that life is short and you never know what's going to happen. So don't let dumb shit come between you and the people you care about, because, you know, any of you could die tomorrow. That's the truth. And here's the other song, More Than You Know. This one seems like it's a little bit more upbeat. Let's check it out. Not a good sign so far that it's starting out with piano. Maybe it'll kick in. Okay, I'm hearing feedback. Maybe it'll start rocking. Here we go. It's kind of a weird mix, isn't it? It's like very distorted. Travis busts out the double kick on this. Okay. Great drumming, of course, as always. Really cool, like, hi-hat work there. I mean, this sounds like it could have been on the self-titled album, right? Oh, here we go. Here's the double bass. I think it's solid. What I personally want is an upbeat, like, banger song, you know, like First Date or Rock Show or All the Small Things. That's what I want. It doesn't seem like that's what they're going for with this album. Feels like they're going for more of a self-titled emo kind of vibe, but you know, I mean, a lot of people think that's their best album, so what do I know? Yeah, it might not be double bass. Wouldn't shock me if he did that with one foot. Oh, it's a nice little breakdown here. The drumming here reminds me of the breakdown in Dysentery Gary, where he does that, like, samba type thing. That's the kind of stuff that makes Blink special. Again, Travis, I don't understand the hipsters that want to say that Blink was better with Scott. I think that's absolutely insane. There's nobody else in punk that plays, like, tasty stuff like that. You know, that's what makes Blink sound special. It's like basically him and Brooks Wackerman are the only people in punk that play this kind of, like, really interesting stuff. Yeah, really cool percussion. I like that. Nice fill. Okay. Okay, well, there we have it, people. Blink is back. This really feels like a return to the self-titled era to me, which is not my favorite era of Blink. Enema of the State is my favorite, but objectively, it's damn good. Much better than Blink should be after 30 years of existence, right? I mean, this is, like, very good stuff. I think this is shaping up to be a solid album that I think people are really going to love. I'm always happy to see a great band come back with something that, you know, really stands up to their early stuff that put them on the map, because that's just so hard to do this late in your career. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of it. I'm excited to hear the rest of the album. And once again, dear Lord, thank you for hearing my prayers and blessing Mark Hoppus with cancer. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for giving us the return of Blink. That's what I think. Good stuff.